Morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of On the Record with your host, Tone Vase. And today we are going to be speaking with another exchange. These have been my last few interviews over the last couple of months. I know this show hasn't been happening very often, but I have been in contact with eToro over the last month or so, trying to see what they've been up to. I've seen their brand, their logos at so many conferences I attend. So it was time to get someone from eToro to tell us what they are doing in the crypto space and how they got here to begin with. So let's welcome Maddie Greenspan, who joins us from Tel Aviv, which I believe is your main headquarters for eToro. And Maddie, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot, Tone. Thanks for having me on, and hello, everybody.
Audio. Everything was working fine right before you went live.
Hello?
I don't know why that happens. I clicked the live button. Just switch your mic. We were just speaking like 3 seconds before going live. I don't know what happened.
Hello? Is that better?
So the arrow next to the mute button. Why am I not able
Hello, hello, hello?
What was that on my end?
Hello?
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yay! Sorry about that.
Oh, no. There might have been something on my end. Who the hell knows?
Happens.
But
don't we love technology?
I know. So Maddie, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot for having me, Tone, and hi, everybody. Looking forward to it.
All right. So you are coming to us from Tel Aviv. So let's start off with, while people are still joining us, before we start actually getting in and talking about eToro, tell us about, I guess crypto. This is going to be both crypto and traditional trading because eToro has been around before Bitcoin even existed, and we will talk a little bit about that as well. But real briefly, do you participate in the crypto scene in Tel Aviv? Were you into crypto before it got into eToro? Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to working at eToro and your life in crypto.
Thanks a lot for asking. So I've been involved in financial markets pretty much my entire life. My grandfather is a self-made billionaire. So, business conversations are, a part of, it's a regular dinner at our house. I started paper trading when I was like 12, 13 years old. I would grab his copy of the Wall Street Journal and track the price of gold. And I've worked in several online brokers until I found eToro. And I gotta say, it's been an incredible ride. eToro got into Bitcoin. I discovered Bitcoin shortly after joining eToro. eToro added Bitcoin to the platform early in 2014. And we were one of the first brokers to add Bitcoin as a CFD. And that's, of course, joining thousands of other markets, which includes, stocks and commodities and currencies and everything like that you can trade here.
Yeah, no, eToro was going a little bit under the radar because, I was in the space already by the early 2014 publicly. And eToro kind of went under the radar. We're going to talk about why that is. But I'm more curious about you starting paper trading when you were 12 and 13. And how was that? Where were you living at the time?
Long Beach, California.
Oh, okay. So you're from the US. When did you move out over to Israel?
I moved to Israel when I was 12 years old. My parents decided for ideological reasons that they wanted to come over here. I didn't really like it at the time. I was like, no, I have friends here, whatever. And they're like, we're going anyways. And the end of the day, my entire family, one by one, all my 5 siblings, my parents, they all moved back, and I'm still here and loving it. So that's the story.
All right, very cool. So so you joined eToro when? You joined about 2012, 2013?
Yeah, July 2012, end of the world.
Okay. And what was eToro like back then? What regions were you guys focused on, and what was it like? Was it equity trading, commodities trading, CFD? What was it like when you joined there?
Well, it was a lot smaller. I gotta say, I believe we were pushing about 100 employees, and that was mainly in the Tel Aviv and Cyprus office. Today, I believe we're up to almost 800 employees around the world, and that includes, and I'm going to try and name all of the offices, but I'm going to forget one or two. Is Shanghai, Sydney, Limassol, Cyprus, London, New Jersey in the United States, Gibraltar. We have a DLT trading license over there. We have a programmer's office in Kiev. And Hong Kong. We have an office in Hong Kong, and pretty sure that I'm missing some, but there we are.
No, it's okay. So, um, so when you joined,
Yeah.
what kind of products was eToro offering, and in what regions?
So eToro is, for the most part, is global. So United States has been a bit more difficult to enter for license and regulation purposes or reasons. And for eToro started out with FX. When I got here, we had like a downloadable platform, which was like gamification of trading currencies, and it was actually borderline racist. You had like Uncle Sam representing the U.S. dollar and a sumo wrestler, representing the Japanese yen, and you see, you bet on which one is going to race faster, and it would actually like hook up to real time pricing. After a while, we got some client requests and that they want to talk to other traders. And, chat rooms were really popular back then. So the first implementation of social trading was actually just a chat room right inside of the downloadable platform. After that, the next logical step, people were saying like, okay, that guy just said that he bought the US dollar right before the pump. I don't believe him. I think he's lying. Can I see, can you show me his profile? Right. So we built another website, which was called the Open Book. And basically that open book would track people's stats and what they're holding, and you could see people's profiles in real time. After that, people say, okay, wait a second, that guy's stats are really good. I want to copy him, right? So we set up a system called the copy trader. So you take, let's say, $1,000, you allocate it to copy that person, and then it mirrors his portfolio. Whatever he buys, you buy in your portfolio in a proportional amount. In 2014, the downloadable platform had to go so that we could integrate it completely with the social experience, and eToro.com became the one place where you could do both social and trading at the same time.
Yeah, so you guys currently have that aspect of copy portfolios and copy trades, but not in crypto yet, right? That is something that is coming soon.
For the European market and for most of the global markets, we have it. You can copy people who are trading crypto. In the United States, at the moment, we're just really starting. I mean, we have 11 million registered users across the world, and we're really excited right now to take our first, baby steps into the USA. We did a very, very soft rollout, which was basically opening up only for crypto and not for copy trading, state by state. So, this is like a month or two ago, we would just like open up. Okay, now California is open, right? And that was, internal information, not something that we're pushing out to the public. But we do hope that within a short amount of time, and obviously I'm not going to be able to commit to a time frame right now over the phone, but the idea is that we'll be able to open up our entire offering, all assets, to be copy tradable throughout the entire United States.
So yeah, so in the US, you're only offering crypto trading, right? You don't offer FX or commodity CFDs or equity. And so in the US, it's only crypto, and you guys are based on regulations. It's state by state. So I know New York's not there yet. People in the chat are asking when Illinois is going to be available. Nevada's not there yet. So you guys have probably about half the country.
I'm not entirely sure, to be quite honest. I mean, I'm sitting over here and
Right.
talking mostly to the press and to the media and writing my market analysis and stuff like that. So I'm not entirely sure which offering is available where. What I can say is if it's not, just go to eToro.com. You can join the mailing list, and we'll let you know as soon as it's available for you. We'll keep you updated as best we can. What I can say is we've done a very good job at localizing each and every region. Particularly tough in China, obviously. I mean, I don't know if you know, like Chinese, when you see a candlestick that's red, it actually means that the price went up, and green means the price went down. So it's quite the opposite. So we had to kind of localize that. The idea here is that every country or wherever you log in from, you'll see assets that are specific to your region. Some, for example, in Australia, we're not allowed to hold real crypto on behalf of our clients. So in Australia only, when a client buys Bitcoin, the regulation there makes us open a CFD for him instead of holding the real crypto for him. So we're going to specify the offering for you. The customer doesn't need to concern themselves with that.
Yeah, I was gonna go to that next, but yeah, this thing with the charts, like I have converted all my charts back to hollow candles. Like if it's shaded, it went down. If it's hollow, it went up, because everyone has their own freaking colors. And now that I am doing this for like other people, I'm learning exactly how so many people are colorblind on top of that. So which is why I encourage everyone to go back to the way I learned trading 15 years ago. There was no green up, red down. It was always hollow and shaded. I mean, I learned it on black and white charts, for God's sakes. I don't know why the color thing went into it, but yeah, that's.
I much prefer the dark charts.
Well, yeah, I'm still using light backgrounds. Everyone yells at me for that, for using white background, but that's because that's how I learned it. And here's the thing, like as a trader, like processing time is so important to me. If me looking at dark charts delays my thinking by half a second, that's a problem. That's an annoyance, and that's a problem. So that's one of the reasons why I use white charts. I don't think I'll be able to go to dark charts. I just process the information faster because that's how I learned it. And a lot of it is about repetition and just what you're used to.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Everybody's got to do what they're comfortable with. Look, it's pretty simple to switch the charts from black to white or white to black, whatever you like.
Hey, so let's talk about these regulatory challenges, right? So you guys have to, well, like US must be really killing you guys, because it's not like a country's regulation. You guys have to deal with like 50 different states, because each one has their own freaking regulation. And obviously you guys have to go through a KYC process for every single person that is going to trade on your exchange. Now, a lot of people in the chat are already kind of complaining that your fees are higher in relation to other places where you can trade crypto, but you guys are compliant. Like I always say that, look, you want to be real careful about where you're trading. I mean, look at BTC-E. Was a very popular exchange, and the guy just got extradited to the US. He's facing 55 years in prison. Money went missing. A big Vern ran away with everybody's money. So there is something to be said about trading on an exchange that is regulatorily compliant and been around even before crypto and has a reputation.
Yeah, we have regulatory compliance in just about in all of the major regions that we're working with. I mean, it's a standard for us, and it was somebody. I believe it was at the last consensus gathering. Our CEO was on the stage, and somebody asked, "So you're operating in 180 plus countries, dealing with so many different assets. So how do you deal with the regulatory complexities?" And his answer, I'll never forget it. He said, "Like a porcupine has sex." Very slowly and very carefully. I have to say that our compliance team has scaled very dramatically over the last year and a half. We went from having one compliance officer with an assistant to having a full global team of compliance. Just about each of our international offices has their own compliance officer or even compliance team. It's just what we need to do in order to make sure that everything is clean.
Man, I love that answer.
That's amazing, right?
That's a great answer. Yeah, so speaking of that, so I have been very, very critical of exchanges popping up like Binance that basically created an ICO. They created this token, and they're like, we need this token for our exchange to function, and you get cheaper rates with this token. And now people are speculating on the token itself. I was very critical when this ICO was being launched. I'm still critical today. I basically think they are cheating and scamming their way to earning $1 billion to immediately outcompete their competitors that decided not to print their own money. Obviously, eToro has been able to function for 12 years now without an internal token, without an ICO, and it has to like bother people at a company like yours. Well, like I would be sending my compliance team, basically the lawyers, yelling at the regulators, going, "Hey, if these guys are allowed to like print money out of nowhere and pretend that it's a necessary utility token, why aren't we doing the same thing?" Now, I know he has a risk of potentially going to prison for it, but if he can get away with it, you know, if you print enough billions of dollars like Ripple did, you can sit there at the IMF office educating Lagarde on crypto. Like that has to bother people like yourself that are working at places like eToro.
Yeah, not at all. Actually, I have BNB token in my portfolio. We were the first external broker to add BNB into eToro. Unfortunately, it's not available in the United States because of the regulatory uncertainty. You know, we don't want it to all of a sudden be classed as a security, and we're offering it to the US clients. So unfortunately, it's not available for US, but for the rest of the world, it's not a problem. I thought that the Binance ICO is an incredibly unique and very special. I think it's actually one of the best things that came out of the ICO bubble of 2017, where you know, somebody was able to raise money with a utility token, not even, you know, a security where somebody's, you know, sharing in the profits, and then work in a real use case for that token. I thought it's something that's quite magical. And obviously, like with any crypto, it's a high risk asset, obviously, which is why I only have it as a very small part of my portfolio. But I think that there's no issue in speculating on something like that, as long as you keep in mind what it is and what it isn't, and that you do your risk management properly. I'm completely fine with that.
Wow, interesting. You went the other way on me there, which is actually kind of good. Yeah, let the viewers decide which way they think it's going. All right, so let's talk about what you guys are offering. So so you guys still offer FX, commodity trading, and equity trading, right? Maybe not in all regions, but in some regions, right?
Yeah, in most regions we have crypto, commodities, foreign exchange, stocks, indexes, and ETFs.
So let me ask you this: in the stock trading realm, is everything a CFD contract, which is a credit for difference? For those that aren't familiar with the terminology, is everything a CFD, or do people actually have possession of, say, Apple stock, or is it just a credit for difference against another trader, or against, you know, you as the company as the counterparty? How does that work?
So that's an excellent question, and it's really going to depend on what you're trading on and where you're trading from. So the regulatory concerns are vastly different in different regions. Some regions prefer offering their citizens CFDs. Some prefer the real assets. From our point of view, wherever we can, we're going to offer the real asset and hold it on behalf of the client as a custodian, simply because we realize that when people are trading, they would rather hold on to something that's real rather than something that's based solely on paper or a contract or something like that. However, there are places where it's simply, like I mentioned in Australia, we simply are not able to do it. So for clarity, when you're looking in the platform, when you have a position that is a CFD, it's going to be labeled as a CFD right on your account.
Excellent. That's good to know. So now for crypto, so in regions where you could hold crypto on behalf of your clients, so you guys do hold in cold storage. crypto that people trade on your platform.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, I see. And that crypto is basically, I'm assuming it might even be segregated. So if I'm trading, let's say, if I just bought one Bitcoin, there is one Bitcoin segregated for me within your exchange.
I believe so. Yes, I'm not entirely sure how it's held on the back end. I know that it's going to be held for you. I'm not sure how the wallets
Okay,
are.
yeah. So it might be pooled in cold storage for security reasons.
Yeah, like I said, if I knew the security procedures, I wouldn't tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, and if too many people know the security procedures, that's also problematic.
Yeah, what I can tell you is that we've built another product, which is called the eToro wallet. Which is a warm wallet where you can actually, or some customers, again, this is in a gradual rollout phase as well. Some customers already are able to withdraw from their account if they're holding Bitcoin in their account, in their trading account. They can actually withdraw it to the wallet, which is then real Bitcoin, which they can, spend or something like that, or transfer to wherever they want on the blockchain.
So you guys, so that's a new service you guys are rolling out, because that was one of my other questions. Are you similar to Coinbase in that you're able to actually withdraw the Bitcoin and spend it yourself at like stores or whatever?
Exactly. So a majority of our clients are trading mostly for speculation. That's why people come to us, because it's simple to open up a trade, simple to close the trade, simple to understand all the numbers, your gains and stuff like that, and look at the makeup of your portfolio. And it's very easy, especially for beginning traders. But we have had overwhelming demand from people who want to withdraw their coins for themselves, and that's why we created this additional product. Really within the last 6 months, where people can start to do that. Obviously, the vision is to be able to open that up for everybody across the world at some point.
All right, no, that's very, very cool. And so let's talk a little more about the copy a trader aspect um, of your platform. So why would someone like what's the benefit, right? So if I'm a trader on eToro, why would I want my trades to be copied? How am I benefiting or profiting from doing that?
So as a trader, so the default. So think about eToro as like a Facebook for trading, right? So when you come onto the platform, by default, your portfolio is going to be public. Obviously, we don't show the amount of money, but percentages and percentage holding. So if I can share my screen here, I'll just show it to you.
Yeah, there's a share screen button. I recommend sharing application, not desktop, but either one works.
Are you able to see my screen now?
I do.
With the arrows, and here we go. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna open up my portfolio and you can walk me through, making my first trade. I haven't done it yet because unfortunately you're not in my jurisdictions. So I need to use a test portfolio for now.
Soon enough, Tone. Soon enough. But I'll breeze you through it. So this is my main watch list. These are all the assets that I'm watching, and obviously you can customize this completely, add, remove assets. And then you have, the two buttons, right? Buy and sell next to each one. The sell button is to sell short, so don't push that unless you think Bitcoin is going to 1,000. I don't know. What do you think?
Whoa, did Bitcoin just break 10,000?
Yes, it did.
Wow, I thought I did it. Yeah, it did. I did a morning show on Block TV with Joe Sass this morning, and the price of Bitcoin was like maybe 9,700, and we both talked about this short-term pop. But you and I are going to take a look at the price of Bitcoin. I'm curious about your opinion on it as well, since you clearly have experience as a trader.
Yeah, actually, I just did an interview with Block TV as well. And they gave me I just tweeted it just before we went live. They gave me an amazing title, which says, Greenspan expects to see Bitcoin climb fast if Fed cuts interest rates. So I've been waiting my entire career for that headline.
Nice.
So here, and you can see my reasoning there in the video, but just to to go, and we've been seeing actually Bitcoin's been rising all day, and the volumes have been growing as well. So I think that it's after we saw that bounce off the 9K, that's an incredibly positive sign. We're up about 5% on the day.
Hey, Maddie, so the spread is a little wide there on the long versus the short. Maybe we can
Yes.
talk a little bit about that after. Are you guys the market maker, or are the traders basically can cut in between that?
Okay, so I'm happy to tackle that now. So because we're like you mentioned, first of all, the regulatory certainty, but second of all, because we have this platform that we've created, and this is completely developed in-house, we're occupying in the building that I'm in 4 complete floors. Two of those are just for development. The trading platform is completely free of charge. You have a virtual account, right? You can switch from real portfolio to virtual portfolio, where you have $100,000 of demo money that you can play with. And that's all, that's all free of charge. Copy trading is completely free of charge. You can copy any trader on the platform. That said, we don't feel that with all of that we're doing, that we should be the competitive, we should be able to offer competitor. We don't feel like we have to compete on the spreads per se. But people are able to do their own homework. Obviously, if they like the platform, they can use it. We're happy to have people. We have found in many cases that when we reduce spreads, a lot of the time the volumes increase. So people trade more when the fees are lower. So we always want to keep them as low as we can. It's simply in our interest. But also we have to, because we're dealing with a custodial solution in this case, we also have to go out and buy the Bitcoin. In many cases, that's including OTC deals, which are done manually or over the phone and stuff like that. So that does come in additional costs. If you are looking for cost cutting and the lowest spreads, you can also try out the eToro X platform. I'm not sure if it's available in the United States right now. It's basically a separate crypto exchange that we're building up right now from the ground. We've been building for the last few months, and it's just started opening in select regions.
Wow, no, that's a pretty fair explanation, because what people don't realize is, you are regulated, and you are kind of paying for a bit of security. And I'm assuming you guys are fully insured as well on the Bitcoin that you are holding, like every other exchange, on the assets that you are holding on behalf of the people.
I wouldn't be able to answer straight off the bat insurance questions. Those are something that's specifically is very region specific. I know that SISEC, for example, on most assets offers default insurance, as does the UK regulator. But again, those are type of things that you have to look into, specifically where you're trading and what you're trading on.
Yeah, and remember, guys, like one of the things is, like, the probability of someone taking all of the Bitcoin and running away to China, like has happened with other crypto exchanges, is incredibly low with something like eToro. I mean, that's kind of the point. And this is one of the reasons why I always tell people to be very, very careful. You want to hold your own keys. You don't want to, leave your Bitcoin on a Mt. Gox or any other exchange. A Cryptsy, a BTCE, Bitfinex been hacked several times. Even Binance got hacked. You got to be real careful with these exchanges, where from a regulatory perspective, it's very risky.
Right. So that's where our size and scope come in. Like I mentioned, 11 million registered users and operating in many different regions across the globe with applicable regulations. We're not a fly-by-night operation. I mean, anybody can come, and see our offices and see the amount of people working here and everything like that. It's not, we're not talking about a Quadriga situation where you got one guy who's holding all the keys.
Right, exactly. Quadriga is another one. And I always hear complaints. People are like always complaining, BitMax might be trading against their people. It's always going down at the errors at the worst time, and everyone still trades there. like you can't have it both ways, right?
Well,
It's
we see
either,
ourselves as a bridge between the traditional financial markets and the new one, which is more crypto based. And I feel like we can talk about later on what we're doing in, in the innovation, especially on tokenization of financial assets and stuff like that. Yeah. So buy
hey, so,
Bitcoin, right?
so
The
you guys are
price is still
actually,
going up. Hold on, let me just open this trade real quick.
all right, go for it.
Disclaimer: this is not trading advice, trading or financial advice. Past performance is
Educational on how to
not
enter a trade.
exactly, and this is past performance is not an indication of future results. That's it. You can see it right there. Trade is open already. Liquidity is guaranteed. If you see the price, you click the button, you got the trade. No requotes or anything like that. You don't have to wait for somebody in the order book. It's that quick. It's milliseconds execution.
Is there? I see it says X1 leverage. Do you guys offer any other leverage?
It's that's gonna be something that's region specific, client specific. Some clients have different options as far as that's concerned. So now I can share it. That's gonna share it to my feed. Anybody following me can see that trade on their feed. And then I can flip over to my portfolio. That's obviously not the only Bitcoin trade that I have in my portfolio at the moment. I'm holding about $10,000 worth of Bitcoin itself. I'm actually holding a bit more Litecoin at the moment. But this is aggregate right now. By default, you can see the aggregate numbers. And if I click on that, you can see all of the specific Bitcoin trades that I have in my portfolio. That's the one that I just opened right now, which is $1,000. And then I can obviously close it clicking the red X, but I'm not going to do that because I've just entered.
And you can obviously set stop losses, and you guys have all of those kinds of tools.
For the most part, yes. Stop losses and take profits are a bit more tricky in crypto. The reason being that when things get shaky, we can't always guarantee proper exit. So we only allow people certain stop losses that we know that we can make good on.
I see. And okay, so two questions. One, if we go back to your portfolio, I'm curious when you entered that Litecoin trade and your reasoning as to why are you long or short Litecoin? You look like you're long Litecoin.
I have been long Litecoin since the beginning of the year. It's been outperforming the markets, and I've been riding it the entire way. I mean, you can see that I've been on record as being overweight Litecoin as early as February.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty good portfolio. Looks like almost everything is in the green except for I'm not sure what that is. Nasdaq Smart Beta by Sentiment.
Yes.
What is?
So another product that we have is called Copy Portfolios. Because we feel that a lot of people want to take part of the copy trade function, but they don't always have the time or the patience or the know-how to go in and research every single individual, right? And say, okay, let's put Tone in my portfolio, right? Let's put Tom Lee in my portfolio and stuff like that. Maybe they know, but you know, they don't always have the patience to go ahead and research every single person, how they're doing, and keep on top of it. So what we've done is we've aggregated these portfolios, which are ready made, and basically they copy the top traders or the top markets all for you, and then they rebalance on a regular basis. So this one that I'm holding, we've actually just released one today called Drone Tech, which is specifically stocks that are related to drone technology, who are involved in the deployment and development of drone technology, which I've also added on my portfolio just today. The one you were asking about is called Outsmart NASDAQ. I don't see it on the main view here, but I can just search it. And basically this is...
So an analyst maintains a list of stocks for that portfolio.
So yes, so the market-based portfolio are put together by our profitability team, where they basically figure out a theme that people, or a trend that people want to invest in. So for example, you can see driverless cars, medicinal marijuana, mobile payments, things like that, cybersecurity, renewable energy.
Outsmart NASDAQ, there it is.
Yeah. So this is a machine learning one that we put together, where we wanted to just choose 14 stocks on a monthly basis that we feel are going to outsmart the NASDAQ index. And it's been doing it incredibly well. If you take a look, we could actually put, we can compare it to the NASDAQ index, the performance here.
Here's the NASDAQ 100.
Yeah. Maybe it's underperforming a little bit at the moment. It depends what time frame we put it on. So let's say last 3 months, for example. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, it hasn't been doing so well. It was doing very well before, like it doubled the performance. At the moment, it's not. Maybe I'll just close that. In any case, I'm a bit wonky about the stock market lately. Fed cutting interest rates tonight. That really has me worried. Oh, look, I'm in a loss of $100 off a $20,000
Hey,
investment. I think I can take.
Is this your real portfolio or is this your virtual portfolio?
That's my real portfolio.
Are you doing pretty well this year?
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, not too bad. So take a look at my stats over here.
And your portfolio is public? Someone can just follow you?
They can follow me because I'm an employee of eToro, so unfortunately it's not possible to copy me outright. But you could definitely follow what I'm doing and see my portfolio in real time. 2017 was fantastic. I mean, no crap. Bitcoin, 1,444% gains. 2018, not as well. I took a hit of 20%, but that was, I felt really proud of that given the performance of crypto and performance of.
Wait, so this is the performance of your portfolio or Bitcoin in your portfolio?
No, this is the performance of my overall portfolio.
This is the performance of your overall portfolio. So you made 140, you made
1,000.
14, over 1,000% in 2017 in your portfolio.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thanks.
And you're up 26% this year.
Up 26% this year so far. July, not so great. Not sure what happened there, but still on track for a good year.
All right. Oh no, that's pretty cool. And so as an employee of eToro, all of your trades on eToro are public, but no one can directly automatically copy your portfolio.
Unfortunately, no, not at this time.
Wow, that's actually good because when I worked for financial institutions, Bear Stearns, JP Morgan, MSCI, I was barely allowed to trade at all. The regulatory hurdles that I had to deal with, I couldn't trade. And then my last job, the reason why I finally, I took that last job is because that last job wasn't at a big investment bank and I had no restrictions on my trading. And I was like, oh, thank God, now I can trade. The end result of that is me sitting in meetings with my cell phone trading, which was neither good for my portfolio.
Oh, no. Oh, no. So you're just trading all day. Did you at least do well?
Yeah, and so then I ended up quitting in order to trade full time, and now I do interviews. So,
Nice.
so I still haven't been able to fully focus on trading, but I will. I'll get there. Trading isn't going anywhere. I'm saving.
Maybe we can help you with that.
All right. So once again, so this brings me back to the other question. Other than becoming famous, why would someone allow others to copy their portfolio and trading ideas? Do they get a financial benefit from that, or kind of just street cred on eToro?
Yeah, definitely. So we have something called the Popular Investor Program. And basically it comes with a whole package full of benefits. So first of all, there are rules of the road. So for example, as far as your risk is concerned, everybody on the platform is automatically scored with a risk score from 1 to 10, 1 being the least risky, 10 being the most. If you've got a risk score above 7, we're not going to allow you to take on new copiers, obviously, because we don't want people to lose their money with you. And you have to have a minimum equity level in order to be copied at specific levels. You can see the entire table here, which is showing the different levels of rising of popular investors. So from cadet up to elite. And then you actually have minimum average equity, and then you get a monthly payment. So Rising Star gets $500, Champion gets $1,000 a month, And then once you reach the elite level, you're already getting a percentage of the assets under management that you're managing.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So where does this money come from? It comes from eToro because you guys earn money on fees.
Right.
And
that big fat spread you were talking about.
Yeah.
We're paying it back.
Uh-huh. I see. And the 1K plus 2%. So is this based on people, the size of portfolios that are copying your portfolio?
Yeah. So that's based on the amount of assets under management. So if you have more people copying you with bigger money, then we're going to pay you a percentage of that.
So it's their assets under management, right? Because if someone with a lot of money is copying your portfolio, then they are paying big fees. So that
Exactly.
2% is not the size of their portfolio, it's 2% of the fees, or is it 2% of the size of the portfolio?
Of the portfolio.
Of the portfolio.
Yeah.
Of the portfolio that's being traded to copy your trades.
Exactly. Of the overall portfolio that you're managing.
Right, because you guys will make more than okay, and then so the estimation is there will be more than 2% of that portfolio spent on fees for the year.
Exactly. Exactly right.
I see. Okay, got it. All right, so this is the reason why you want to be a top trader, because the more people that copy you, you earn a direct percentage of how much, how big their portfolios are copying you. Okay, that makes sense.
That's right. We have several clients on the platform who flat out quit their day jobs to be full-time traders on eToro.
No, that sounds pretty cool, actually. Hey, guys. Oh, by the way, I keep forgetting to mention, I do have affiliate codes with eToro. They're different, one for Europe and one for US and one for non-US. Both links are in the video description and also on tonebase.com in the affiliate section. When you click on eToro, you will have to, choose one or the other. It'll redirect you to another screen, and then you choose, are you a US citizen or a non-US citizen? Because one of the things is a lot of traders watch me, and it's really hard to find a US compliant exchange with an affiliate program. And this is one of the reasons why I ended up in talks with eToro, because I wanted something for US traders that is legally compliant.
We're all about strategic partnerships, and especially we our vision is simple. So first of all, we want to open up the financial markets to everybody across the globe as much as we can. Second of all, we want everybody to have a good experience on eToro, because people who do who are having fun and trading and enjoying the trading, they're going to tell their friends. And friend referrals has been one of our biggest channels for bringing new customers throughout our entire history. Is basically make sure that people are having a good time, that they're enjoying themselves. It's not always easy to do in a trading platform, financial institution, and that way people are gonna continue, and that's why we feel that affiliate programs like this are extremely essential to move forward.
All right. Hey, you're up for talking about the markets a little bit. I'd like to hear your opinion, considering how fairly well your portfolio has been doing over the last few years. Let me get your thoughts on the Bitcoin market. I'm gonna share my screen. I know people are waiting for my thoughts on the Bitcoin market. So let me go ahead and
man.
jump
Are you
over
still
to
bearish?
that. So this is the daily chart. I talked about it yesterday.
Hello? Tone? Nah, crackers. Hello? Hello?
Hey, Maddie, I'm not sure what happened there.
Happens, man.
My internet disconnected for a second. We're still live streaming.
Cool.
We just went off and went back on. I'm going to go back to screen share. So the question I was going to ask you, are you more of a technical TA guy, or are you more of fundamental analysis guy?
Excellent question. So I'm doing a lot more fundamental analysis, and I use technical analysis, especially for entries and exits. So, if you have a price range or something like that, I'm going to use the fundamental drivers to decide the direction of my trade for the most part, and then use the technical analysis to set my stops, entry points, and take profits.
All right. Are you familiar with the Tom DeMark's TD sequential TA
No,
part? No.
I've never
Yeah,
heard of that.
that's something I picked up over on Wall Street. It's not really something on retail platforms. And according to that, I did a video yesterday talking about how I did expect a bit of a bounce coming up on a daily 9 right here with a green arrow that showed up yesterday. And we did bounce today. However, I am still a little bit skeptical that we are ready for new all-time highs. I am basically, if I go to the 4-hour chart, I am still looking at this downward channel from the $14,000 top. Now, I can start to become optimistic if we can break above the last swing high, which took place at around $11,000. But until we break 11,000, I'm still looking at this cluster of resistance around 10,500. And if we do get to 10,500 and reverse back to 9, we're now making a descending triangle that could end somewhat badly, taking us down to the $7,000 range. That's my intermediate look at the markets. What do you think on Bitcoin intermediate term?
So I think that you're actually correct on that. I mean, especially regarding, we've been seeing, though we've seen a lot of hope today, or just even in the last few hours with volumes rising. But so ever since we reached that peak on June 26th, the market has been cooling down. I keep seeing the number 8,500 coming up, and that's not just on the charts. That's just people like in WhatsApp and Telegram and Twitter. I just keep seeing that number coming up over and over again as a level that people are looking to buy in at. So I wouldn't be worried about a break below 9,000 or say that it's an indication of a reversal in its trend or anything like that. But rather, as you know, when you have a support level that builds up like that over time, the tendency is that people that it might get broken and people can get liquidated on the way, or that get stopped out just because of that. They tend to pile up their stop losses just below the 9,000 level, which could easily take us down to 8,500. For me, this time frame is a bit short. I would say, even zoom out, let's say to the beginning of the year, and then you can really see that kind of rising trend line, right? If you just draw a line right through that, I mean, you could see that we haven't really strayed too far away from that. I believe you got the 200-day moving average in purple. Is that right?
This is now on a weekly scale. So the
Okay.
purple is the 30 week, and that's the 200 week.
Okay. So the 30 week, I'm usually looking at it on a daily time. Yeah, right, exactly. So just draw it right through that. Even I would say, not even try to catch the bottoms, but just like right through the entire price action.
Yeah,
From
we're still in that zone, but I mean, if we go below this $9,000 red line, then Bitcoin gets into a little bit of trouble from a TA perspective. And on a long-term scale, the way we fell so quickly from 14,000 down to like below 10,000, that made me scared, because every time Bitcoin goes up exponentially the way it did from 3 to 14, it has a tendency of 80% corrections. And you want this exponential rise to take you to new all-time highs, so that an 80% correction isn't as bad. But if this exponential rise tops out at 14 and another 80% correction is incoming, that could get Bitcoin in a lot of trouble. And no one believes that it can fall back below 3,000. I think I'm one of the few people left.
Okay. In this instance, again, as far as my analysis is concerned, I'm really using the technical as let's say, a guiding path as far as entries and exits. I believe that what's driving Bitcoin at the moment and what's driven it higher since the beginning of the year are really the fundamentals. We see transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain have been sustaining above 3.5 transactions per second since the beginning of the year. That's a level that was just only breached first time, 2017. Volumes are much higher than they've ever been before. Even if you look at peer-to-peer trading volumes on local Bitcoins, for example, we've been trading above $50 million a week since that level was first breached in 2017. Volumes there have been continuing to rise, so more and more people are using Bitcoin as a store of value and for remittances in various markets. If we go further than that, I mean, we just look at, it's just a numbers game, right? 17 point something million Bitcoins that have been produced, and then about, I don't know, the estimation of what is it, 4.5 million that are lost forever. There's a very, and then if you then take that number further and then say, okay, there are many people out there, and I speak with them every day, who will not sell for any price. The hodlers who are basically taking supply right off the market. We're looking at a very, very limited supply asset. And yeah, I mean, it can be quite volatile in the short term, but the more people who join the network and start hodling and taking supply off the market, even one single large buyer can send the price up in spades.
Yeah, no, that was very well said. Let me get your thoughts on maybe gold real quick. Like you said, gold was one of your first assets you ever traded as a kid. What are your thoughts on gold? Right now, I have the weekly chart up for gold. We broke this 38% Fibonacci line that, took us like 3 or 4 years to break above. What are you thinking of gold over the next, year or two?
Yeah, excellent question. So I'm completely overweight on gold right now. You can see it in my portfolio is the top single asset that I have. By far, it's about 10% of my total equity, as well as, and then if you add silver onto that, we get to about 15% of my total equity. The way that I see right now, and this has been confirmed by Ray Dalio just in the last week, right now we're at a unique time in economic history, which is basically where the central banks have artificially suppressed yields and artificially suppressed interest rates, where people cannot go out simply and buy bonds or hold money in a savings account and make money off of it anymore. In the old world, people were looking for yield. They would look for 3%, 5% in a year. They can't get that anymore. And when you're in that environment where even holding a bond is more likely to give you a negative yield on that bond, so basically you're paying money for the privilege of holding that bond, all of a sudden gold, which has no interest, positive or negative, starts to look much more attractive.
All right. And hey, what about your thoughts on the US dollar and the euro? I believe the US dollar will strengthen, and I think the bottom is about to break for the euro, taking it to the parity versus the dollar. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't have any trades on any real trades on currencies at the moment. We're in a currency war, deep within a currency war at the moment, where every country is doing their best to devalue their own currency. And, even the United States, who's forever been a proponent of the strong dollar, I mean, no duh, it's their number one export. Now the president is saying he wants to have a weaker dollar, and telling the Fed to cut the interest rates and be more accommodative. Go for it, but I'm not gonna start buying it. I'm gonna find myself assets that I can hedge against that. I'm not gonna try and guess if the Bank of Japan is gonna be more dovish or less dovish than the Fed in the United States or the ECB. As far as I can see, they're all in a race to the bottom at the moment.
All right,
just like I wouldn't trade Bitcoin against Ethereum. I have no reason to.
And finally, let's get your views on the S&P 500. I've been a huge bull on the S&P 500 for years. I've been doing these TA shows publicly since about probably late 2015 or mid 2015. And I've been a bull on the S&P 500 ever since. Even before that, everyone's been laughing at me, but yet here we are at new all-time highs. It looks a little bit toppish, but I felt like it should have topped a couple of weeks ago. It continues to make new highs. I do have on a weekly scale potential top coming in next week with one of my nines using the TD sequential. But overall, I'm still bullish stocks into the next decade. What are your thoughts?
You're going to have to show me sometime about these TD sequentials. I've never really been familiar with this type of technical analysis before. Overall, I think that it's a good idea to have exposure to indexes. It's not something that I want to buy right now. I mean, we have the Fed cutting interest rates later this evening. And I do believe that that interest rate cut is already well priced into the market. So unless they surprise with, a larger rate cut than people are expecting, I think that the stocks can even fall on the news potentially. So in this case, for me, I'd want to see more attractive levels to buy in at. I was holding when it was, 2,400, 2,500 levels. I bought some on the way up as the Fed became more supportive of the markets. But now it seems that we're stretching all-time highs. And look, with the amount of money that they've been pushing into this thing, it can go up forever. Quite honestly, it can. And I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt that you're right. Just keep holding it for all it's worth. And especially when you see currencies being devalued, generally that value tends to transfer into assets like stocks. So there's definitely a bullish case. However, for me, trading on the indexes is really short term right now because I'm really skeptical about what's going to happen in the long run.
Yeah, no, again, very well said. Hey, a couple of other questions came up in the chat about eToro. We're going to close out on this. I got two more for you. I know it's getting late where you are. Before I turn off screen share, hey guys, just want to point out that the eToro affiliate link has now been added to the affiliate section. It's right there. If you click on it, you will then get to choose, are you a US person or non-US, and it will redirect you accordingly. So check that out. You can check out my calendar of where I'm traveling to. I do have my next workshop this Sunday. It's on risk and account management. So I saw your portfolio. It looks like you follow pretty good rules. Like one of the things that I teach is no more than 10% of your trading portfolio should be allocated to any single trade. And we're gonna dive deep into that in this webinar. And as a longtime trader, you know how you don't have to be a good picker of stocks. If your risk and money management rules are set, you will survive for a long time until you figure out what works and what doesn't work in your trading.
100%. I could not agree more.
All right. And of course, guys, we do have a bunch of conferences that I'm organizing. The Financial Summit, please check that out. This is something we're putting together in Bali. It's a week-long educational on trading boot camp, along with connecting traders with potentially profitable strategies with money managers that could help you make more money with those strategies. That's the goal. Hopefully, people from each camp will sign up. It's at a nice resort in Bali. Okay.
Looks like fun.
That is done. Ever been to Bali, man?
I have never been to Bali. I've heard amazing things about it.
Yeah, I haven't been
the
either.
weather must be really nice.
That's one of the reasons why it's in Bali. I've been all over Southeast Asia, but have not been to Bali yet. Thailand is always one of my favorites. All right.
It's a trading. You just tell your wives it's a trading summit, hon. I gotta go when I learn to make money.
Yeah, well, you can kind of bring her. It'll be she can relax, and you can have it as a quasi vacation, quasi educational work trip. All right.
Sounds like fun.
We got two more questions. So one of them comes from the live chat. Are people able to fund their trading accounts on eToro with Bitcoin or it has to be through the banking system?
No, unfortunately not. There's not a regulatory body that's going to allow us to do that at this moment. We hope that as it becomes more clear, the regulatory clarity starts to set in, as people start to understand a bit more about it, that we'll be able to open that up in the future. That's obviously not depending on us though. At the moment, like I mentioned, we do have an option for some clients to withdraw Bitcoin to their accounts, but for the moment, all the funding has to be through fiat.
Got it. And finally, you guys are offer, I believe, 14 altcoins or 14 crypto, I mean, including Bitcoin, 14 cryptocurrencies on your platform. Has anything been delisted yet, or everything so far is like no altcoin has been delisted from your platform?
We've never delisted an altcoin before. So when we add them, we are very sure to do our due diligence as far as this is concerned, because for us, adding a new asset, whether it's a crypto or a stock or anything else, there's a very simple equation that we have to make, which is supply versus demand. Whenever it comes to crypto, there's always a demand. We have never had any problem with that. People, if we add a new crypto, people always want to trade it. So the demand is there. But the other equation is the supply. So we need to make sure that when people click that button, you saw how quick it was when I opened that Bitcoin trade. We need to make sure that we have the liquidity available for you to do that, so that you click that button, you'll see the position right in your account. And a lot of the shit coins out there, they don't have that kind of liquidity. So we make sure to do our due diligence, make sure that we have that in order to add it. And once that, once a crypto is mature enough to get to that level, it's very difficult to see it kind of becoming unmature. It's possible it could happen in the future, but no, we've never delisted any altcoin.
All right. And finally, I don't know if you'll be able to answer, but are you guys looking to add more cryptocurrencies to the
Yes.
platform? And can you speak about which ones are you guys leaning to, or is it
Nope.
or the surprise?
No spoilers. It has to be a surprise, unfortunately. No front running. Sorry about that.
All right. Okay, guys. Well, on that note, unless you have anything else to say, Maddie, I'll give you the floor for a minute or two and close us out, and then we'll call it a day.
All right. Thanks a lot for having me, Tone. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. Please follow me on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn. Very happy to answer any questions that you have. I'm always receiving questions from people and retweeting and answering for them. So feel free to do the same. To the moon.
All right, guys. Thank you again for watching. This has been another episode of On the Record with Maddie Greenspan of eToro. Please check it out. There are links in the video description and, of course, on tonebase.com. Maddie, thank you so much for joining. And hopefully we can do another one of these, spend more time talking about your thoughts on the markets, and maybe we'll keep an eye on your portfolio at the end of the year. We'll go and check it out. You're up 26% now. Hit me up, remind me. We'll take another look this year. I know if it goes into the red, you probably won't, but then I'll try to remember.
Yeah. No problem. No, it's an absolute pleasure, Tone. It's great to meet you finally. And yeah, definitely feel free to hit me up. And wow, I'm gonna look into Bali, man. That looks like a freaking fantastic time.
Check that out. And I might be coming to Tel Aviv in September. I'm gonna finalize my travel schedule probably in a week or so. And yeah, if I'm there, we definitely got to meet up.
Cool. So next time we stream, we'll stream live from the eToro HQ.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all on the next one.